I see some big names
should.
on this schedule. Texas, your preseason AP number 1 team in the nation, Texas. For the life of me, never understand why it's not just your defending champion, but whatever. And that's me even advocating for a team I don't like, but it's fine because guess what? They get to play them right off the bat. Texas, it's Manning. It's Manning with some aura. What's it like seeing a Manning play football that has a little bit of culture, right? I mean, the kid, he's a baller. He doesn't mind to show some emotion, and it's kind of different from obviously his uncles that played football. That was kind of head down, straightforward, go to work, play ball, no emotion on the field. Maybe a fist bump here and there, but overall, ball is ball. But I feel like Arch has a chip on his shoulder, right? And so how's that new offensive line? I mean, he's got basically, virtually, kind of like Tennessee, a new offensive line in front of him. He does have some great wide receivers around him. Their defense is solid, but like overall, I mean, what are the expectations? Obviously, not. I mean, Heisman. You could say Heisman, but what are the expectations around Arch this year?
I mean, the expectations around him, at least as far as Texas is going to tell you, and as far as college football is going to tell you, it is Heisman Trophy. If you want my opinion on it, I'm not going to buy into the hype until I see him go out there because he's gone out there and he's played in a couple of games in a backup role to Quinn Ewers. Got a couple of starts last year when Ewers went down with an injury, and he's talented. He really is, and I think that he can be at that Heisman type hype. But until I actually see it, I'm not going to buy into it. I think that Texas defense is going to win them a lot of games this year. And I think that Arch is going to do just enough with the talent that he's got around him because this is the most expensive roster in college football this season. And last year, if they weren't the most expensive, they were the second most expensive behind Ohio State, who they're playing in week 1. So, I mean, you've got the talent there, and I think that's definitely going to help. But sitting here today, I'm not going to go out and say that Arch Manning is going to win you every single ball game. It's going to come down to defense is going to win a ball game. Arch Manning is going to do just enough, in my opinion. Now, we might get to, week 6 there, that Oklahoma game, and I've seen him perform against Ohio State. I've seen him go against Florida. I'm not going to say anything about San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston because that's nothing. But if I see him go out and just light the world on fire against Ohio State and against Florida, both on the road before they play against Oklahoma, yeah, I might change my tune a little bit. But right now, until I see him go out and do it, I'm not buying into the hype. And I think that the expectations are going to weigh on him just a little bit.
I agree. So, you want me to take a crack at this one first, or you want to get it?
Yeah, you go for your prediction first, since I did Texas A&M.
Right on. 0-12. I'm joking. That's Tennessee football 247. I ain't gonna be that harsh. Come on now. Let's see. Ohio State to start the year at Ohio State. This might be harsh, but I think it's a loss, and I think that's a fairly easy pick. Arch Manning's first start as the guy. Obviously, he's made starts, but you're going to the shoe at Ohio State for big noon kickoff. Buddy, if you win that game and you look good winning that game, yeah, go ahead and give you the Heisman right off the bat because that's exactly what's going to happen. But I don't think that's how it's going to work. I think Ohio State's going to be able to. And let me say this game does not define anything. Right, it's a top 3 matchup. It's the very first game of the year, and they're going to have
very
time
differing opinions on this game.
I don't care. It's not going to mean anything. Literally, they have the entire schedule to make up for it and be right back where they need to be at the end of the year. So, yeah, it's a loss. I'm sorry, but it's okay. It's okay. San Jose State and UTEP and Sam Houston. All wins. And let me pull up. I just want to make sure I don't mess up my picks because I did that not too long ago. But Florida is without a doubt, even though it's at Florida, I mean they steamrolled Florida last year. And I just, although DJ didn't play, I think they could beat Florida again, in my opinion. Oklahoma. See, this game gets me because I swear I second guess this game all the time. Not because I feel like Oklahoma's a better team than Texas, but you know just as much as I do, this game has everything to do with the fact that it's the Red River rivalry. It's the showdown in Dallas. It's anything can seriously happen, but I'm going with my gut, and that is Texas is going to win that game. I do feel like that might be really, really good, close game. Like it's definitely going to be on the monitor at the same time. If they play at the same time as Tennessee that day, that I will be watching that game for sure.
Most of the time, this game is a noon kickoff,
Yep.
and I've actually got Tennessee's schedule on my phone. I do believe that Tennessee has a let's see, so that's October the 11th, Arkansas. So that's going to be a flex game. So if that one right there is a noon kickoff against Oklahoma, then the Tennessee game will be later in the afternoon.
Right on. With that being said, wins over Kentucky, Mississippi State. Don't really need to go in too much in that. I will say, Kentucky, I feel like plays better against the best competition. So if they're sleeping on Kentucky, they might find themselves in the fourth quarter in a one-score game. I still think they win. So BBB, take that as a compliment, please, because I don't think y'all are going to be in for a good season. But I could see y'all being in the fight in this game in the fourth quarter. But I do think Texas gets the win. And then I think they lock in, beat Mississippi State pretty easily. Vanderbilt, though, this might be for the SEC championship, if I could not be serious. Yeah. Let me check, make sure on the Vanderbilt thing I did not have them winning this one. No, they did not. Okay. That is definitely a win for Texas. At Georgia. Yeah, I think they get revenge. I'll give it to them. Arkansas win and Texas A&M a win. I do think you have 11-1 and undefeated in the SEC Texas Longhorns. Going to the SEC ship for the second year in the row?
Yep, second year in a row. Go to the SEC championship. So 11-1.
Worst case. Yeah, worst case. They lose to Georgia. They lose to A&M. And they lose to Oklahoma. I can see a worst case here of 8-4. Or it's just maybe it was good, just not winning the game for you type player. And then best case is 11-1. There's if they beat Ohio State, they lose to Georgia or A&M or something like or Oklahoma. Like I just don't see undefeated in the cards in the schedule. I mean, October, you're literally only you're not even you don't play in your stadium once in October. So I don't know. I don't see it. I think it's 11-1 season, 100%.
Yeah, that's fair. So while you're clearing the board, I'm going to completely disagree with you as far as that Ohio State game.
We've disagreed on a lot this year, so it's fine.
You say the Ohio State game in week 1 means nothing.
It means nothing.
I think it means a lot.
Like in the Heisman race, maybe.
No, I think it means a lot when it comes to the playoff race. And when I get to the end of my predictions, I will tell you why.
No. Let me defend it real quick.
Okay.
If they lose to Ohio State and then sweep the SEC.
Yes, in that case, it means nothing.
It means nothing. But I guess if you're saying if they lose to Georgia and slip up somewhere else and they're 9-3 with a loss to Ohio State, Georgia, like 3 of the top 10 teams, right? Then it might come into play if they miss the playoff. And I guess I see that. I see a world in that. But like in my prediction alone, they lose to Ohio State, sweep the SEC, go to the ship. And at that point, they're fine. They're still playing for a number 1 seed overall, in my opinion. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it means nothing.
So, I mean, in your prediction, that's completely true. It means nothing at that point. Let me get to the end of my prediction.
So you don't even have them going 11-1.
Week 1 against Ohio State. I completely agree with you here. I think that Ohio State, this game being in the shoe.
So we're not completely opposite. No. We just have the meaning of the game is completely opposite.
Yes.
I got you. All right, right on. Oh, so they're missing the playoff because of this game. Oh boy. All right, I love this. Come on, Michael. Come on. I'm sorry to spoil it. I love it.
So week 1 against Ohio State, I do have that as a loss, but that's going to be, if the hype is real behind the two quarterbacks, then that's going to be a fantastic showing between Julian Sayin and Arch Manning, and I cannot wait to watch that game. Now I will say that one is going to be on the same screen or on the opposite screen. Actually, the same screen because I got YouTube TV, so I can watch 4 games at once. It's going to be on the same screen as Tennessee and Syracuse because it's in the same time frame there. Big noon kickoff. But yeah, I've got a loss to Ohio State there in week 1. Week 2 against San Jose State, that's going to be a win. UTEP, also a win. And then Sam Houston, also a win. Now, if it was flipped and you had those 3 games and then Ohio State as the 4th game, I think I might change my pick at that point, and I think that Texas could beat Ohio State, but that's not the way the schedule falls. They play Ohio State first. So 3-1 start to the season before they travel to Gainesville, play against Florida. They do have a bye week before this game, and I think that helps them immensely in this game to get a win against Florida. You mentioned it, the Red River Shootout against Oklahoma. Anything can happen at any given time, any given year between these two teams. But this year, I think that Texas once again gets the better of Oklahoma. Go up against Kentucky on the road. I do also agree with you. I think that Kentucky, most of the time, when they play a very good team, they play up to their competition. I mean, look how many years that they've played competitive with Georgia. They played against Ole Miss last year. That's supposed to be a college football playoff team. Went to the Grove and beat them. Yep. So, yes, I do think that they play up to their competition. But
and
then
that's why, to BBB's point, being a level above Mississippi State, I will say yes, because Mississippi State can't do that. So Kentucky
I agree.
Somehow, some way, even as bad as Kentucky is, they can find a way to still put it together on a weekend. They just can't do it every weekend or most weekends. Yeah. But yes.
But they do get a win against Kentucky. They also get a win on the road against Mississippi State. And this 3-game stretch right here, even though 2 of them are on the road, that's got to be one of the easiest stretches in the SEC, going against Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt, because they're going to get a win against Vanderbilt as well.
Don't let Diego Pavia hear that. All right.
You know what? Let me clip that up and send it to him.
He's going to be like, Vanderbilt and Georgia's got to be the toughest 2-game stretch in the league.
So, Georgia, November the 15th. This game is at Georgia.
They own Georgia, or Georgia owns Texas.
I don't think that this bye week could come at a better spot for any team in the SEC this year. You get a bye week before traveling to Athens, Georgia to play against Georgia. And let's see who Georgia's got that week. So, Georgia does play Mississippi State the week before on the road. Should take care of business there. But I think that with Texas having a bye week and getting some guys healthy, I think that Texas does go on the road to Athens and they get a win in that game. You play against Arkansas at home, get a win there. I've already mentioned on Friday night, November the 28th. I know what you're thinking, but let me just finish off this loss to Texas A&M before I.
It literally doesn't even matter in your prediction, dude.
So in my prediction, it doesn't. I've got them going 10-2, but I will also say this. I picked Texas to win that game against Georgia. First off, because I think the bye week is perfect. I think that they'll get healthy. I think they can go on the road to beat Georgia. But I'm also giving a spoiler alert for next week when we do Georgia. I've got Georgia going 11-1 with their only loss being to Texas. And I cannot pick any team in the SEC to go undefeated. So if I was to pick Georgia to beat Texas in this game and have Texas going 9-3, which would make that Ohio State game super huge as far as the playoff picture goes, then that's where I'm defending that Ohio State game being a meaningful game. Because if you do drop that game to Georgia, which you absolutely could, and you also dropped a game against Texas A&M or Florida or Oklahoma, and you end up 9-3 with that loss to Ohio State, that means a lot when it comes down to the playoff picture at the end of the season. And that's why I think that game is such a big game and has so much meaning to it. But to your point as well, if Texas does do as you predicted and they sweep the entire SEC in the regular season, they win those 3 games against San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston, but still drop that game to Ohio State, it means nothing at all because they're going to be in the playoffs.
Jade says, screw you guys. I have Texas beating Ohio. And that, I mean, look, could absolutely happen. I'm just going to go with my guns here and say I haven't seen Arch play. I don't know. I feel like there's so much on his shoulders.
Yes.
The pressure that rides into this game. I don't know. And if he does it, like I said, he's going to skyrocket to the top of the Heisman boards. And he deserves it at that point. But until then, I'm going to stick with the home team on that. And a lot of times when I see teams that are even, who's playing at home? Give me that team. And that's kind of what I'm doing here.
And listen, I'm not going to. So Big Blue Breakdown says, "Heading out, guys. Great show. Got to go start my live as well." And I tell you what, Big Blue Breakdown, when we're done here, I'm going to go over and I'm going to join your live. I'm going to watch you and put in some comments there. So appreciate you tuning in tonight. Looking forward to talking.
I'm going to ask your thoughts on Tennessee. No, I'm joking.
No, appreciate you tuning in tonight, though. But so kind of going to your point about Arch Manning there, I am by no means whatsoever comparing Nico, what he did last year, to what I think Arch can do this year. But kind of putting a Tennessee spin on this, we saw what the hype can do to a new quarterback. Because Nico last year had Heisman-type hype. He was, the 6th or 7th favorite to win the Heisman last year, had all this hype coming in, and just to put it bluntly, he busted. Overall last year, he busted. So I'm not saying that Arch is going to do the same thing, but he is an inexperienced quarterback. Not that he's a young quarterback, which he still is. He's a redshirt sophomore quarterback, but he is inexperienced, and anybody that is coming into their first season as the guy with this type of hype, it's a lot, man. And it could weigh on him a little bit that he's got to be that guy. So that's where I'm at with Arch Manning. As far as my ceiling and floor, I'll start with the ceiling. I also think 11-1 is a ceiling because I think that they can beat Ohio State, they can beat Texas A&M, but they're going to lose to somebody on this schedule, whether it be Ohio State in week 1, whether it be Texas A&M the last week of the season, whether it be Georgia, Oklahoma, or I'll throw Florida in there as well, just because of the spot that it's in for both of these teams in the season. So I think 11-1 is the ceiling. As far as my floor, I'm also with you. 8-4 is the floor. I think that you drop Ohio State, you drop Texas A&M, and you drop to Georgia, and then you drop one of Florida or Oklahoma on this schedule. So 8-4 is my floor. 10-2 is my actual prediction. 11-1 the ceiling for Texas this year.
I love it. I love it. And that's going to do it for our preseason predictions of the teams out in the Lone Star State, Texas and Texas A&M. And, honestly, that's a great start for Texas in the SEC. I mean, to go back-to-back seasons, possibly 11-1, go into the SEC championship both seasons. I don't think you could write it better in a better script for Texas going. I mean, is this the year they get it done, though? I mean, that's the big question. And, I still have my doubts, but it's because it's Texas. I mean, it's the same with Tennessee. I can't predict Tennessee to win a natty ever because
I can every single year because I'm a Tennessee fan.
I mean, I can hope and I can hope and pray, but buddy, we've been doing that every year. Yeah, I'm just saying, as far as a prediction, it's hard to predict it when it just seems so far out of reality. And
I think Jade says it perfectly. There's big hype this year for Texas, but also there's a big letdown spot that can be there.
Could be. But that's exactly what Steve Stark signed up for. And, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to give him praise for giving that big hype. I mean, he's the reason why the hype's around the building. And not a lot of people have been able to do that in the past, 10, 15 years. I mean, Texas has been bad. I mean, luckily they benefited from a weak Big 12, so they had some good seasons, but then got clobbered when they made it to the postseason. But I think he really has built a machine out there in Texas, and A&M, I think, is still a step behind quite a bit. So